We continue our reading of God's Dream for You, The Chosen, a morning devotional by author Dwight K. Nelson. Our reading today, July 20. July 20. A personal testimony. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as, in fact, you are doing. 1 Thessalonians 5:11. Let's end our front porch and one anothering reflections with Rob Thomas's personal testimony that my friend Kay Kuzma shared in her devotional book, Fit Forever. My mom's suicide rocked my life. My first reaction was shock, then denial, then anger. How could she do this to me, to my kids? Then guilt. Why didn't I do something more? As I tried to put the pieces of my life together, I questioned God's role in Mom's suffering. She was manic depressive, and her subsequent choice to end her life. Blindly, I saw only two options. One, God didn't fulfill his promise to not allow any temptation beyond what Mom could bear. Or two, Mom just blew it. Either way, it was a losing situation. Either God or Mom screwed up, and then that conclusion almost destroyed my relationship with God. Over the next year or two, I really struggled with my spiritual life. In retrospect, I think it was a combination of my relatively sterile spiritual life before Mom's death, her suicide itself, and the subsequent questions it raised in my mind about God's role in our lives. Also, I attended a large, impersonal church where I had no support group to listen, encourage, and reinforce to me the truth that God loves and Satan destroys. I am embarrassed to say that I almost gave up on God. I kept going to church, but mainly for the kids' sake. Even though I was struggling, I still believed in a God to whom I wanted my kids to relate. I didn't want them to grow up not going to church because of me. Before making a final choice to bail out on God, I committed to do some reading and investigating. I read a book by Philip Yancey, Where is God When It Hurts? That really helped me to wake up and smell the roses. My family also began attending a smaller church where I became involved and made friends who loved me regardless, and I began therapy. Over the past 5 years, I've really come alive spiritually. I've benefited from 4 small groups, 1 secular recovery group, and 3 spiritually based groups. I've had a much more meaningful devotional and prayer life, and I've been much more active in my church. It's been wonderful, like my own spiritual resurrection. I wonder why it took me so long, 30 years, to get connected with God. Page 216. This concludes our reading today of God's Dream for You, The Chosen.